This is the tutorial movie for the 2300 Advanced Photoshop second half of the adjustment layer folder. It's called the Railroad Girl, and I want to show you on my front cover on your PDF file you have an example from a student. I thought that you would want to see something that another student did, and I would call this a good designed piece. Look and see how I have a small composite of the opening file, then to the left, to the right is the pointillized girl, to the lower left is the saturation girl, to the lower right is the selective color girl, and these are what is referred to as copy merged layers of a bunch of other layers that are full size images, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. But before I do that, and before we get started on the first page, I want to go in and show you what other students have done quickly. Okay, this is another student who had done a nice design, and you can see again they have they changed the order a little bit. Selective girl, saturation girl, original, she was supposed to be up on the left. You can change it, I guess. I don't really care, but the whole point of this is to be creative, to show me what you can do, but also to have that creative edge. Now I'm just going to go through these and give it to you on screen for a moment so you can see what other students have done. There's student number 2. I'll leave it on screen for a minute. Student number 3, student number 4, student number 5, which is the one I'm using, student number 6, and of course my favorite, student number 7 with the flowers, which isn't bad. It's good, kinda, in a way, odd, but I won't make any comments. I won't make any comment. It's a little flowery for me. Okay, fine. Let's take this off and go right into the original file, because this is what you're going to start with. And notice how in channels I have open and in layers I have open. And there's only one layer, and there are only 3 channels beyond the RGB channel. Your job is to begin in quick mask mode, and I want to show you what I'm referring to. In quick mask mode, I hope I didn't close the file. Sorry about that. It's right here. And let me get close on this. In quick mask mode, I want you to, again, save as to your name _ Railroad Girl. Make a selection of the lamp. Now you don't have to even stay in quick mask, but I want to show you the difference, and then I want you to read about the difference here. As I'm doing it, I will show you, because quick mask requires many different procedures to save it. So let me minimize this screen and get right to it, while channel mask only requires one save of the file, and here is the difference. Let me make sure that all of these items are on your screen so you can see the bottom of all the palettes. Okay, good. I'm going to start with the L key, which is the lasso, and I'm going to make a very quick lasso of this lamp. Doesn't have to be perfect, because it's up to you now to go in and make it better. Now that I have that there, if I hit the Q key or go over to the left here and hit the quick mask, you're going to see that I have not only the flexibility to work in the selected areas, but I could also go to work in, the masked areas, but I could work in the selected areas if I wanted to, which would make the lamp green, but I want to stay in the masked areas. I've chosen green, which is a color that isn't found in the rest of the file and really helps to contrast out of the reds and blues that are in the lamp. And I have a 50% opacity. So even though it looks like there's only 50% and it's transparent, it's not. It really is 100% value. And I want to say something right off the bat. Whether you're in quick mask or channel mask, the foreground and background colors change to black and white, and you can toggle that with the X key. If you're looking what I'm doing, I'm toggling back and forth. Now your job is to edit this and make it as fitting as possible towards the lamp. And I'm going to do a small section of it around her hand so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to go show you a finished version without including her image of the pants through the glass. And then I am going to show you how to fix that part, because the rest, everything that I'm going to do on the hand is going to give you a good indication on how to fix it. But I'm going to switch immediately to channel mask right now, because I want to show you the process that I have to go through to save this file. I'm going to have to hit the Q key to go back to selection mode. I'm going to have to go up to select and save selection. I'm going to have to name the selection, and in this case I'll name it lamp 1. And I'm going to go in and hit the return key. Now I have to actually go and save the file. So I'm going to, in this case, save as and put in my name so that I can go on to the next file and go ahead and not ruin an original file, because I never want you to ruin an original file. So I've gone to save as, and I've saved it as Sorial _ Railroad Girl. Now I'm going to go like this, and I'm not going to replace it. Pretend I did replace it, but now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, in fact, let me go Sorial Railroad Girl 2, because I already tried this once and it worked very well, so I'm doing the actual assignment. Okay, Sorial Railroad 2 is the name of the file. Now, I'm going to deselect the selection. Okay, normally if you would stay in quick mask mode, you would have the selection active. You would have to hit the Q key to go back into quick mask mode, take your paintbrush, which is the B key, and get close and then update this. Now please notice up here in my flow, it's at 30%. I want opacity and flow both at 100% when you're working with this. Now if you right hand click, I want the hardness of the brush to be about 70, and I'm going to hit the return key to accept that. Now I'm going to toggle the brackets next to the P key to make the brush bigger or smaller. And my job is to go in and now fill up this whole mask so that I go around the lantern, and I also include the hand. So I'm going to go around the hand right now, and I'm going to fill up this whole area with tone. So I'm going to go around her thumb. Watch how I do this. Toggle the brush down just a skosh, and now go up like this and fill up the whole hand so that I have masked out, leaving only the lamp. So now I'm going to go around the whole thing. Now I'm going to switch in a second to channel mode, or channel quick mask, or channel mask mode, however you want to say it. And I'm going to do it because I have to go through those 3 procedures. Now I'm going to continue with this once I get there. Okay, so watch how I do this. Now I'm going to hit the Q key to go back into selection mode. I'm going to go up to save to the selection mode, and I'm going to save this selection as lamp 2. Now I could have saved it over lamp 1, but I didn't want to. Now I have lamp 2. I'm going to deselect the selection, and I am not going to work in quick mask mode anymore because it's a pain. I'm going to go over here to the channels palette and throw away lamp 1. Now I'm going to go to lamp 2, and in lamp 2 you can see that I've started to isolate out the lamp. Okay, let me go back on this so I can show you the whole lamp as it is in its rough form. Now I'm going to finish the hand, and I'm going to go around the top of the lamp to show you what I'm talking about. Now pay attention. I am in the channels. I can toggle the visibility on the RGB image so that I can see the image, or work in black and white and actually paint on here and paint black or white on there, and I'm going to Command Z back. But I'm going to make sure that I always stay highlighted on this channel. But I'm going to toggle the RGB image off. I now can toggle the channel off and see the image so I can really get a good visual of where stuff is. But I'm not going to unselect the lamp, number 2. So now let me get close to this and finish off the hand as I told you I was going to. Now if I go up, remember that you're using the X key to toggle back and forth, and I'm going to fill up the hand now with all the stuff. And by the way, the green when I double clicked over here in mask mode is not the same green in the lamp channel. Okay, I'm going to double click this and see that I have again a choice of colors I can work in. So if I change this to purple, the green that was the quick mask is still green. They're 2 separate items. I want you to totally understand that. Now watch how I'm going to go up here and hit the X key, and I'm going to take away where this was up here, hit the X key, and now restore where it's going over here. So you can see how I'm working my way around this whole, filling up all the holes in the entire lamp. The reason I have not finished the hand is because I can toggle the brush a little bigger and I can kill 2 areas at one time. So I'm just going to go up like this. Watch how I can go straight up like this now, and if I make a mistake like that, I just hit the X key and I can now repair my mistake. So I can completely toggle back and forth, repairing everything. I can make the brush bigger if I want and quickly fill up areas. Now I can go over here and quickly fill up this area because obviously I'm painting black on my mask, not green. I'm painting black. I can prove it because I'm going like this and I'm actually painting black, so you can see where the holes are. Now I can toggle this down and I can actually fill up the holes in the hands where I see it and fill up the holes over here because you are painting in black. Now let me hit the RGB eyeball on and continue on. Now in a second, because I don't have a lot of time on this tutorial, I'm going to go advance to one that is a little bit farther along. In fact, it's a lot farther along in its sensitivity towards the entire lamp. Now you can see how I've now managed to go around the whole lamp. I'm now starting to go around this way and around the whole base. And now here's what it looks like when the entire lamp, not including this part, but everything is filled in. Okay, so let me close this file and open up another file that already has it completed to this point. Now, let me minimize the screen because I have several channels that I want to discuss with you here, which I will probably eliminate right now, okay, because I want to show you them. This channel is a finished version, and I'm going to throw it away right now because I want you to see something. This channel is everything without filling up all the holes. So let me go up in here, I'm sorry, without filling up where the glass is. Now, I can fill this up and I can make it more accurate to what it is by turning on the RGB image. The thumb is not quite done enough here, and I'm going to tell you that the person who did this, and this is again from John Buttery, he had his opacity at 15%. I'm going to change it to 50%, so now you can see a little bit better where stuff should be. And if you don't know where that thumb is, just toggle the channel off like this. And now I can see that I should include in here a little bit more of that thumb, as I just did. Now I'm a little bit more accurate as to what is happening. Now, let me turn off the channel mask again and show you that the student should have come down here a little bit. Now I hit the X key and I can toggle the hand back, so now I fixed that area. So the student has gone around to the whole thing. Let me turn off the RGB file and show you that the student has included all the proper holes. All of this should not be included in the lamp. Alright, now I've gone ahead and I have fixed a little bit more of what we're looking at. So let me go like this and show you, that certainly wasn't it. Let me go ahead and show you the finished version of what I want you to put in. Now I'm going to show you how to get to this point right now. So let me go back to the one that we started with right here. I'm going to tell you that when you're ready to do the big glass area, please do the following. Do not ruin the mask that you have already made. Duplicate it by dragging it down here. I'm now going to show you that I'm going to turn on the RGB image and I'm going to take a very wide brush. So I hit the B key, I toggle it up to a very wide amount. And I'm hitting the bracket next to the P key to do that. I'm now not going to work in 100% value. I'm going to work in like 10% value. And I'm going to now put a little bit of tone on top. Remember that, and I'm going to stop for a second. Remember that when I turn this off, oops, I certainly did a mistake right there, and I'm glad I did. So I'm going to go back in history, and I'm going to go up on the brush tool, and I'm going to go to right here so I don't have any tone in there. And I'm glad I did that because I want to show you something. Do not paint trying to get feathered airbrush while your hardness is anywhere near 100%. I want to be all the way to 0% here. So let me hit the return key. Let me toggle this on, but let me say something. When you have black on an image, on a mask, it is going to eliminate. So black eliminates an image, white retains. Please write that down. Black eliminates, white retains, and we'll discuss that further in class. So what I want to do now is to turn on the RGB image now and correctly at 10% paint in where the glass is getting more intense and fading out towards I work my way to the left. Now watch how I'm going to go down here and turn off the RGB image. Now see how I have now a decent amount of glass right there and a good gradation going across. Now your job is to fix it. So I now have to go back. When I'm done feathering, I go back to 100% on the flow. Right hand click and go back to about 70 as I said. Let's get close on this, and now let's make the brush be nice and small. And now let me come straight across. Command Z that back because I forgot I was on painting black, and I want to come straight across now, and I want to cut out the airbrush that I put in there where the metal red of the lantern is. So now let me fix this, come straight across like this, come straight across, fix it a little bit. Try not to go into any of your painted area, which I'm not. I'm doing a pretty decent job of staying continuous here. Now notice how I am not worrying about this area in here because I know that's supposed to be white completely. I'll paint it when I do the mask, when I'm only concentrating on the mask. Now watch how I'm going to go through here, and let's take out the metal that's right here. Good. Now let's come across like this and take out the metal that's right there. If you screw up, hit Command Z and then or Control Z and redo it. Okay, I had to stop talking there because I wanted to be very accurate with what I was doing. Now, let me make sure that I have none down this side right there. Okay, let me go real close to that edge, and I'm trying to be quite accurate here, as accurate as I need to be on a tutorial movie. Now, let me turn off the RGB image. Now look what I can clean up here. Look at how the foreground color is black. I can X key it to white, make my brush bigger, and I can physically hand paint in white where I know the mask, which white retains the image, black eliminates. So let me go in here now and see if I have to clean up any other area. Now what I should do is I should go fix this bottom area right there, which I am going to do. It should be slightly more rounded. I want to show you what I'm talking about. There's more roundness to this lamp than the other student had done. So let me hit the X key and toggle this around like this and round that off quite nicely like this. Now I'm going to now talk about what we do with this item. I would save the file at this point, so let me hit Command S to save the file so I don't lose what I've done. Let me click away from the channel mask, because your job now is to make your 4 layers, and it happens very quickly. Okay, so I want you to see as fast as I possibly can to get it done. Now at this point I don't need these other 2 channels, so I'm going to throw them away because I know that I have a good channel there. Now what I'm going to do is to make this smaller so I have plenty of room on my screen to work, and I'm going to have the layer palette be bigger. Now let's get ahead and go to the PDF file so I can show you what I'm going to be doing. I have now made my selection. I've shown you that quick mask and channel mask are similar, but now I only have to save the file one time to save a channel mask, have to go through a procedure of 3 to 4 things to save a quick mask. Now I'm on number 4. And number 3 talks about that glass area. Number 4, duplicate the background layer and name it Girl Pointilize and apply somewhere between 10 and 15 on the Pointilize. Okay, I'll do that. Duplicate the background layer, and for sake of getting this done, I'm just going to simply name it Pointilize and hit the return key. Now, in Pointilize, I am going to command click this mask. Remember that black eliminates and white retains. Would you please look down here at the channel? If I use the mask straight the way it is, it's going to eliminate the girl, not the lamp, because black eliminates, white retains. And let me turn off the background layer so I can show you that perfectly. With the channel active, and look over here how you see the selection, I am simply going to add a layer mask. Now look at how just by adding a layer mask, I have it the wrong way. Now I could always leave this selected over here in the layer mask and hit Command I to invert it. That's okay, and that's a good way to do it, but it's not the most efficient way. So let me Command Z this back. Actually, I'm going to discard the mask. So I right hand click and discard layer mask. Now let me go back and Command click on the channel. Good. Let me Option click on the Add Layer Mask. When I do that, it automatically makes a subtract mask. White on the outside, black on the inside. Black eliminates, and look at how it cut a hole through here. Now we go to Filter, Pixelate, Pointilize. Have it be about 10. Whoops, let me cancel that baby. Look what I had selected. I had the mask selected, not the image. Would you please now make sure that the highlighted thing is around the image? Now go to Filter, Pixelate, Pointilize, and I want to point out something to you. Would you please look at the background color? All right, I'm going to make the background color be a horrible green because I want you to see something. I'm now going to go to Filter, Pixelate, and Pointilize, and I want you to see that after I clicked on the image part of this, I now have a horrible green back there because filters and effects are driven by the foreground or background colors, and you have to experiment which one. Now I want to go more towards a denim blue, so I'm going to click the background color and I'm going to make it more of a denim blue. Let's go over here and just pick out a little bit of blue on her body right there. That's what I want to use right there. Let me say OK on the background color. Go up to Filter, Filter, Pixelate, Pointilize, and now she has blue back there. Now let me make the cell size about 10. Good, and click OK, and it'll take a moment to do it. Now I'm going to hit save after every time I do this because I want you to make sure that I don't lose this as I go. So let me hit Command S to save the file. Now here's our job. Okay, pixelate is done, but I asked you to now make an adjustment layer. So read the next step. I'm going to turn on the background thing so you can see that you see some of the pixelization through here and some not, because obviously this starts to graduate or fade out. Let me go back to Command 0, and that wasn't the smart thing to do. And now let me make this slightly smaller. Good. Now I want you to add an adjustment layer. So to this layer that is selected, which is the pointillized layer, you go Adjustment Layer and you go to Curves. Make the curves slightly darker by grabbing the curve and going down slightly and clicking OK. Now it darkened everything, including the background layer, because we have to Option click between these layers. So I hold the Option key and click, and now the lamp goes back to its normal curve. The curve now only changes the pointillized layer. This is ready for my small copy merged. And I want you to get a piece of paper out because we are going to discuss what a copy merged layer is and how to do it. But I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to do the next two. So I duplicate the background layer, and if you read your steps, it says do the hue girl. So I'm going to just hit this and go hue. To make a long story short, this is my hue girl. I am going to do the same process. Command click on the channel and Option click on the Add Layer Mask icon. I now am going to add an adjustment layer to change this to black and white. Now I'm going to turn off the background layer so you can see that I am indeed only changing this image except the lamp, because there is no lamp anymore because I made a mask and cut a hole in her lamp, or in the image, through the lamp. Now what I want to do here is to go to here and add an adjustment layer of hue and saturation. I'm going to desaturate the entire thing. Now I go and say OK, and now I Option click between the layers. Now I am going to turn on the background layer so you can see that the adjustment did affect both layers, but I'm going to Option click, and now it only affects, whoops, I Option clicked the wrong thing. I Option click now here, and you see how the lamp is back to where it should be with some of the black and white taking out through the glass. I hit Command S to save the file. Now just a second, and we do the last one. Let me turn this off, and now let's duplicate the background layer again. Now we call it Selective Girl. So let me just say Selective Girl, or just Selective, because I want you to, I'm going to affect all the reds in the piece, okay? But the same process. Command click on the channel, Option click or Alt click on the Add Layer Mask icon, and now if I turn this off, you can see that I am indeed only working with this. I add an adjustment layer. In fact, I'll leave this on now. We're adding an adjustment layer of Selective Color. I've already got my selective color affecting the reds, so I'm going to just take the reds and make an obvious change towards orange. And now I'm going to hold the Option key and click between those layers, and you can see how now I've only affected her image. Here is how you make a pretty decent designed piece, and I'm not going to do the text. So here's how I'm going to start. I'm done with the channels, okay? So if we can for a moment, let me just take the channels and put them over here if they're not in the way. In fact, let me move this over. Good. And let me put this way over here so they're not in the way, because I need the whole layer palette for this, okay? Write this down. To copy merged. Oh, okay, but don't write anything yet, because I'm going to do a designed background first. Now watch this cool designed background. I pick up the background layer. I'm going to name it BK for background, and I'm going to move it up to the top of the file. I'm going to go to Filter, Stylize, Find Edges, let it do its thing, hit Command L for Levels, and let's just take the level and make her very dark like this. Good. Now I'm going to leave the background layer on. I want you to see what it looks like when I actually accomplish this task, okay? I'm going to take this now, and I'm going to remove the opacity from this just ever so slightly, because I want you to see how cool that looks, to see some of the image come through just like this. Now I'm going to put a blue tint on everything here. So I'm going to go to make a new layer above BK. I'm not going to name it because I'm going to merge linked in a minute, okay? It's very important. I'm going to merge linked in a minute. I'll actually probably make a copy merged layer of this one, so pay attention. We are going to fill it with the background color, Command Delete. I'm going to take this and put it on a mode of color. I'm now going to take a little bit of the opacity out of this. Now I want one layer, a composite layer of all three of these items. Layer 1, BK, and background. So I'm going to leave it selected on the BK layer. So if you're writing, a copy merge layer is as follows. Have the visibility on only the layers you want, which I do. Be selected on one of the layers, which I am. Go to Command A to select all. Go to Shift Command C, which under Edit is to copy merged. Shift Command C. Now, I'm going to click up to the highest layer, because it's going to paste one above that, and go Command V, and now you see how I have indeed a copy merged layer of everything, because I did not want to get rid of my background layer, which is why I did not merge linked. Okay, now I can actually start my process because that's my background. So here's how we now do the whole thing. Let's turn on the background layer and let's go do first the pointillized girl with the adjustment that I had. The rule for copy merged is as follows. Only the visibility on which you want, Command and select one of the layers, Command A to select all, Shift Command C to copy merged, click up to the highest layer, Command V to paste. Now I'm going to double click it and I'm going to name it Small Pointillize. Now after I've done that, I'm going to shrink it to 40%, and then I want you to write down, don't write it down, just do what I'm going to do to use the again command to shrink everything else. I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Scale. And I'm going to make sure the link button is selected so it links both width and height, and go to 40%. Now I'm going to hit the return key to accept that. And now after I've accepted it, I'm going to hit the V key for the what tool? For the move tool, and I'm going to put this up in an area right up there, and I'm going to add a bevel and emboss effect to it. So I go to pillow emboss, which is what I want, and I'm going to up the size of this quite a bit and say OK. Now I'm going to add that to every single one. Okay, so I want you to kind of see what I'm going to do here. The next one, let's do the next one. Turn off the visibility on everything that's there. Turn on the visibility on all you want, in this case the hue and saturation girl. So you see how I have 3 layers on. Click to one of those layers. Command A to select all, Shift Command C to copy merged, click up to the highest layer you have and Command V to paste. Now I've made a composite layer which I'm going to call Small Hue Girl, or just Small Hue. And now to make her small, all I have to do is go Shift Command T. And that actually performed a again transform, A-G-A-I-N, again transform. And I'm going to now move this to down here. Now watch what I can do with the effect that I put onto the original, or to the pointillized girl. Actually, this was supposed to be the original girl, and I'll move her over. But I'm going to pick up the F here on the effect. Actually, I'm going to pick up the effect here, I'm sorry. And I'm going to put it between both layers, which now makes it also property of the Small Hue Girl. In fact, let me take the pointillized girl and put her over here and down a little bit so I don't lose the whole, I don't want to cover her whole face up. I'll figure out something later, but I don't really want to cover her whole face up, but I'll figure out something in a few minutes. I'm going to now do the last 2. So I turn off the visibility on everything that I have there, deselect this and do the selective girl with the adjustment and click to it. Command A to select all, Shift Command C, and right now I'll just simply go Command V to paste. While it's selected there, I'll just move it up to the top of the file, double click it and name it Small Selective Girl. And now in Small Selective Girl, go Shift Command T so I shrink it. And now I can turn the Small Hue Girl on, the Small Pointillized Girl on, turn off all this other stuff down here, turn on my cute background layer, take this Small Selective Girl and place her in the file where she looks the best, and now pick up the effect that I put onto the small hue girl and put it between here. And now all you have left to do is the original one. And again, I'm going to go back to the handout to show you the cover. Okay. In fact, I've gone through all of these with you right now. Let me just show you. I've gone through everything here so that you create all the selective girl, the hue and saturation girl, and now I'll go back up to the top, and I want you to turn it into something like this. And I'll go back to the start of the file to see the other student examples, and in your folder on the server will be my finished example. So I'm finished. Let's go on to assignment number 4, which is going to be filter images. Thank you.